Hi basketball fans, welcome back to the channel. We've got a top 10 SEC showdown that feels like March in February, and if you love elite women's college basketball, you are not going to want to miss this breakdown. The powerhouse South Carolina Gamecocks women's basketball are walking into Baton Rouge with a 17-game win streak over LSU, and the LSU Tigers women's basketball are done playing little. This isn't just. It's dominance versus defiance. It's legacy versus opportunity. It's Dawn Staley versus Kim Mulkey under the brightest lights in the SEC. And with former Gamecock MiLaysia Fulwiley now wearing purple and gold? Oh yeah, the storyline just turned. South Carolina beat writer Lulu Kesin has laid out exactly what's at stake, the matchups, the mindset, the momentum shifts that could decide. Before we heavyweight breakdown, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss a single SEC showdown, and drop your prediction in the comments right now. Does South Carolina make it 18 straight, or does LSU finally snap the? When Lulu views a matchup, it's never just about X's and O's. It's about tone. It's about momentum. It's about what this game means. And when the opponent is LSU Tigers women's basketball and the standard bearer is South Carolina Gamecocks women's basketball, meaning is everywhere. This isn't the SEC showdown. This is pride. This is history versus hunger. This is dominance meeting desperation under the bright lights of Baton Rouge. And according to Kesin, everything about this game feels like March, even though the calendar says February. South Carolina enters this matchup carrying the weight of expectation, and the confidence of a program that has earned it. Under Dawn Staley, the Gamecocks have built something rare in college basketball, sustained dominance without 17 straight wins over Read that. 7. It's tilted back and forth decades ago, it has recently belonged almost entirely to Columbia. And yet, if you listen to Staley, and if you read Kesin's breakdown, you won't hear a hint of entitlement. You'll hear urgency. Because LSU isn't just another team they're ranked. They're loaded. They're playing at home. And they are desperate to flip. Kesin emphasizes that South Carolina's identity remains its greatest weapon. This isn't a team dependent on one superstar going nuclear. It's layered. It's adaptable. It's suffocating defensively and fluid offensively. Freshman phenom Joyce Edwards has emerged as a scoring force, capable of taking over stretches with polished footwork and fearless drives. Her presence inside forces double teams. And when those come, South Carolina makes opponents pay. On the perimeter, sharpshooting guard Tessa Johnson stretches defenses beyond comfort. Leave her an inch too much space, and 3 points flash on the scoreboard before you can blink. But what makes this Gamecock team dangerous, and what Kesin underscores repeatedly, is depth. Wave after wave. Veteran leadership mixed with fearless youth. Defensive versatility that allows them to switch almost everything. Length at every position. Physicality that wears opponents down over 4 quarters. They don't just beat you. They erode you. Yet LSU presents a different kind of challenge. Under the fiery leadership of Kim Mulkey, the Tigers thrive on emotion. They feed off the crowd. They embrace theatrics. And in Baton Rouge, theatrics feel inevitable. This is a program that has circled this state since the schedule drop. A top 10 showdown. National television spotlight. A chance to end the streak. Kesin notes that LSU's offense has evolved. They push pace. They attack early in the shot clock. They create mismatches with guards who can both penetrate and shoot. When they get downhill, they're tough to contain. And then there's the storyline everyone is watching. MiLaysia Fulwiley, the former Gamecock now wearing purple and gold. It's impossible to ignore the emotional current running beneath this matchup. Fulwiley knows South Carolina's system. She knows the personnel. She knows the culture. But she also understands the standard she once helped uphold. Kesin frames it carefully, this isn't revenge. It's validation. For LSU, a win would signal that the gap has finally closed. For South Carolina, another victory would reinforce that the throne remains firmly theirs. One of the most compelling elements Kesin highlights is tempo control. South Carolina prefers disciplined execution. They are comfortable in half-court sets. They defend without fouling. They turn stops into controlled transition opportunities. LSU, on the other hand, thrives in chaos. If this game becomes a track meet, advantage Tigers. If it becomes a defensive grind, advantage Gamecocks. That battle, invisible to casual fans but glaring to analysts, may decide everything. Another key factor, composure. 17 straight wins in a rivalry can create psychological pressure, but not always on the team you expect. For LSU, every possession may feel weighted. Every missed shot amplified by the crowd's tension. Every turnover a reminder of history. South Carolina, conversely, walks in with the calm of experience. They've been here before. They've won here before. They've silenced this building before. Kesin points out that Staley's teams rarely get rattled in hostile environments. That isn't accidental. It's rehearsed. It's drilled. It's culture. They expect noise. They expect runs. They expect adversity. And they prepare accordingly. Defensively, this matchup could be brutal. South Carolina ranks among the nation's elite in field goal defense. They contest without fouling. They rotate with discipline. They rebound with purpose. LSU's offensive rebounding, however, poses a serious threat. Second chance points can ignite a crowd faster than anything else. If the Tigers win the glass decisively, the energy inside the arena could swing dramatically. Kesin makes it clear, rebounding margin might be the hidden stat that tells the story. Coaching adjustments will also loom large. Mulkey is known for her sideline intensity, quick tactical tweaks, and ability to ride the hot hand. Staley counters with steadiness and long-term vision, rarely overreacting, often trusting her system to wear opponents down. Chess, not checkers. Who blinks first? Who changes defensive schemes mid-quarter? Who manages foul trouble more effectively? These margins are razor-thin in top 10 clashes. Beyond strategy, though, there's legacy. South Carolina's sustained excellence has turned them into the SEC's measuring stick. Programs don't just want to compete, they want to dethrone. LSU understands that beating the Gamecocks would ripple nationally. It would affect seeding conversations. It would shift power dynamics. It would energize recruiting. For South Carolina, the motivation is simpler. Protect the standard. Kesin's preview emphasizes that this team doesn't talk about streaks publicly. But internally? They know. They know what 17 represents. Consistency. Accountability. Culture. Breaking that streak wouldn't just be a loss, it would be a symbolic crack in the armor. And yet, rivalry games rarely follow script. Maybe LSU jumps out to a double-digit lead early. Maybe South Carolina clamps down defensively and turns it into a slog. Maybe Fulwiley delivers a signature performance. Maybe Edwards dominates the paint. What feels certain is intensity. From tip-off, expect physical defense. Expect bodies hitting the floor. Expect emotional swing. Because when two top 10 programs collide with history hanging overhead, the margin between celebration and heartbreak is microscopic. Kesin's ultimate takeaway. South Carolina isn't invincible. But they are relentless. LSU isn't desperate. They are dangerous. The collision course feels inevitable. And the outcome may hinge on which team dictates identity rather than reacting to the other. Will the Gamecocks extend their dominance to 18? Or will the Tigers finally roar loud enough to shatter the streak? By the final buzzer, narratives will shift. Someone will make a statement. And somewhere in the aftermath, whether in a quiet visiting locker room or a roaring home arena, the SEC hierarchy will either remain unchanged or dramatically rewritten. Saturday night isn't just about rankings. It's about proof. And as Lulu Kesin's preview makes clear, both teams believe they have something to prove. Buckle up. And just like that, the stage is set. 17 straight wins. A roaring Baton Rouge crowd. Two elite programs fighting for control of the SEC spotlight. Will the South Carolina Gamecocks women's basketball continue their dominance under Dawn Staley ***? Or will Kim Mulkey and the LSU Tigers women's basketball finally flip the script on their home floor? One thing's for sure, when the final buzzer sounds, the SEC picture could look very different. If you enjoyed this preview and want more deep dives, insider analysis, and non-stop women's college basketball coverage, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown. And now it's your turn, and final score prediction in the comments. Who steps up? Who struggles? Who makes the statement? We'll game.